Hello and welcome to the shed. In today's video I want to run you through how I determine the age of my vintage Stanley hand planes. Hope you enjoy. So what I'm going to be using here for this is this flowchart that you see here, which was picked up off the Popular Woodworking website, and all the credit to the people are actually on the bottom of that, of who actually created it and then who amended it. So I can't take credit for actually creating the flowchart, but it's a great flowchart to use for this, and it's the easiest way to determine the age. Now, one thing you do have to watch out for is that you do sometimes have hand planes that don't have all the original parts, and they're kind of a Frankenplane. And so I will leave a few links down below to some online calculators and things that I can't really show you on here for copyright issues, but they go into a much more depth with the information that you can follow through, and it's just way more detailed. But the flowchart is the easiest way to determine it, and I've used it to determine the age of most of my hand planes. One of my planes up here that's pre-lateral adjuster was a little bit of a Frankenplane, and those other websites were great with their sort of in-depth little bits of detail. So I will leave them down below if you need them, but otherwise we're going to be using this flowchart that you see on screen here today. So I've chosen this number 5 hand plane here to start with. This one's going to be quick and easy to determine on that flowchart because I've already done it, so that's going to be quick and easy. It's only got a couple of steps, and then we're going to go into this hand plane here, which just takes a few more steps just to get a better understanding and handle of the flowchart. So let's jump in. I'm going to take this one apart first and we'll get started. So we're going to start here in the top left of this. How many pattern dates are cast into the bed? You can see here we've got 0, 1, 2 or 3. So let's have a look at our plane and then we can determine which one we're going with. So if we have a close look here, we have pattern dates March 25, 02, August 19, 02 and April 19, 10. So we have 3 pattern dates. So we're going to go down to where it says 3 on a flowchart. And our next question here is the depth adjustment nut larger than 1.25 inches in diameter? So we're going to be looking at this here on the back here, and it is exactly 1 inch in size. So it's not larger. So we go back to our flowchart and we can see no here, and so what this particular hand plane is a Type 11, which was manufactured between 1910 and 1918. So now let's jump into this hand plane that I was telling you about. This is a pre-lateral adjuster, so it is quite a bit older than that one. But let's run through and find out exactly how old. So back to the flowchart here, back up to that top left. How many pattern dates are cast into the sole of the bed? Well, if we have a look at this one, just behind the frog here, we can see just here, there's absolutely 0 here. So there's no pattern dates at all. So we're going to take this one right at the top here. Is there a raised ring cast into the bed of the receiver for the knob? So when we're talking knob, we're talking about that front handle. I haven't taken it off on here, but we can see there's nothing raised in around here. This is sitting flat on here. Let me just show you what they're talking about. There's actually a little bit of casting just here. That's the raised bit they're talking about. If we have a look at this one, there's nothing raised here. So we go back to the flowchart and we choose no. So this time we go down just below that. Is a plane number, i.e. number 4, 5, 7, cast into the bed? So let's have a look. Sometimes they'll be cast in on the front here or in the back here. On this plane, there's nothing. If we compare it back to this one we were looking at before, we can see that that's the sort of thing we're looking for, number 5 cast in there. So we're going to take this side here and run down. Is the lever cap back recessed? So what we're looking for, is there any recess in the back of this, or is it flat? And as we can see, there is clearly a recess in the back of this lever cap. So this time we're going to choose yes. So we come down and across. Is the frog receiver a broad rectangular area with it arched towards the tote? So the tote is the back handle area. So in this hand plane it's actually broken and will need to be repaired, but that's our tote. So we can see here, it comes across, it's pretty much a rectangle, and it's got a little arch in the back here. I know this is pretty filthy, but it's arched in the back just there. So we're going to choose yes, and we come across here and it says that this is a Type 4 between 1974 and 1984. So what we have here, this filthy thing that needs to be repaired and restored, is a nice old hand plane, not even part of the 20th century. So it's back in the 19th century, the tail end of it, and so this is a very old specimen of a hand plane. There's not many that are that much older than the Type 4, other than the Type 3 2-in-1. So there you have it, folks. As you can see, that flowchart is very easy to follow to determine the age and the type of your Stanley hand planes. Obviously, we just delved into two hand planes that aren't Franken planes and have all the correct parts, but I have, as I said, left those links down below that will help you to determine the various parts that you've actually got at part of the hand plane and when the changes were made to determine if you've got a bit of a Franken plane. So that's a little more in depth and a little more complicated, and it's going to take you quite a bit more time to determine that. But I do suggest that if you can't find a proper match on that flowchart, do check that out. So if you like this video, please do like and subscribe down below. While you're down there, do sound off in the comments. Are you aware of this flowchart? Do you use some other means to determine the age of your hand planes, especially your Stanley hand planes? Do let me know. And if you'd like to see another great video such as this, do check out the video up here where I go through all the anatomy of a hand plane, and that video will go up there once the video goes live. Bye for now.